Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is all about my payday routine. So this is everything that you need to do as soon as you get paid. I'll go through all of the things that you need to do to manage your money in the best way possible. Before we get started, please don't forget to give the video a like. It just takes a second and it really helps out the channel. Thanks for liking the video. Also, if you do want to stick around and see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe. All you need to do for that is just click subscribe below the video. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Let's get into it. So this is my payday routine. This is everything that I do as soon as I get paid. So I'm going to tell you all about this so that you can follow these steps when you get paid to ensure that you make the most of your cash and you can manage it as well as possible. So that's all coming up in today's video. Let's get started with the first step that I do. The first thing that you need to do is know where you're starting. So as people, we can often find that we avoid things that make us feel uncomfortable, particularly finances. It might be the kind of thing where you bury your head in the sand and you don't want to look at your money because you don't want to see what's going on there. But the first thing that you need to do is to actually look at your finances and make a start on figuring out where you are. Even if this isn't you, even if you already have a handle on your finances and you know exactly where your money is going month to month, it's always good to take a look and check in again and see where you are, especially if this is you and you're someone that doesn't like to look at your finances, then this is the first thing that you need to do. So the first easy thing that you can do is just to take a look at all of your bank accounts, all of your savings accounts, any credit cards or loans, find out what the balances are in all of these different accounts. Sometimes you might be tempted to not look at your accounts or not look at your debts to try and pretend that they're not there, but the first thing that you can do is actually find out what the situation is and then you can start solving it. Once you've found out what your balances are, then a good next step is to figure out your net worth. To do this, you need to find out the value of your assets, so everything that you own, any balances in your savings account, any value that you have in your house or your car. These are all assets. From this, you need to subtract the value of any debts. So this can be student loan debt, any debts that you might have from a car on finance, or any other loans or credit cards that are debts. Just going through the process of making this calculation can make you a lot more aware of what you have in each different account and any debts that you might have, and also it can make you realise the value of the assets that you have, which can be really encouraging as well. So this is a great exercise to do for everyone, whether you already have a great handle on your finances or you're not quite sure where you're at. It can be a really good tool. Now that you know where you're starting, it's time to move on to the next step, which is to find out where you're at every month. This is another thing that we can sometimes avoid because it seems like a difficult task and it's something that's going to take a long time. But if you get a budgeting app, or you can even use pen and paper or put it into an Excel spreadsheet, whichever you choose. I've got a link for Emma, which is a good tool that I use for budgeting, and that's free as well. I'll leave a link for that in the description box, but whatever way you choose to find out what you're spending each month and what your income is, either way, it's a great way to find out where you are, and then you can find out what money you have left over each month. Find out what your monthly income is, so you can add in your salary and any other income that you have on a monthly basis. And then from this, you need to subtract any essential living expenses. So these are the things that you absolutely need to live. So rent or mortgage, any groceries, any bills. So the absolute essentials are the things that you subtract from your income. For this calculation, you only want to include your needs at this point. So it's not things that you want or any luxuries. It's the things that you absolutely need to live. If you use a budgeting app or a spreadsheet, then you can categorize your spending, or you'll see your spending categorized, and that really helps because you can see the income, and then you can just simply take away everything that you're spending on groceries, bills, rent, mortgage, these kinds of essentials. Then you'll be left with an amount that you will have each month for any wants, but also to pay yourself first. So that's the next step, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is a really good exercise because it shows you how much you've got left over each month, whatever that may be. The next step is to pay yourself first. So in the previous step, you will have figured out how much you have left over each month after your needs have been taken care of. This means that you will have an amount that you have left over every month. So say that amount is £200, say you've got £200 every month. Well, you could spend this on everything that you want to buy in the month and everything that you want to do in the month, and then find out at the end of the month that you've got no money left over, which is something that a lot of people do tend to do. So what you want to do is actually pay yourself first and allocate that money before you start the month, so you know where it's going, and hopefully you can allocate some of that money towards yourself and your savings and your investments before you spend the rest of it on things that you want. You should, of course, make sure that you have money left over to do all the things that you want to do and spend money on the things that you want to, but this is your hard-earned money, so you might as well put it towards yourself as well and your future, and this can come in the form of savings and investments so that you don't have nothing left over every month. So decide how much you can pay yourself each month. For example, if you've got £200 left over every month, you might decide that you can put £50 towards paying yourself. Once you've decided on a figure, then the next step is to put your money to work and start paying yourself first. So the first thing that you can do with this money is to put it towards any high interest debt that you might have. This is because in the long run, high interest debt is really going to erode any gains that you might get elsewhere. So I think it's really important to start paying that off first if you can. You'll end up paying a high amount of interest, so it's definitely worth putting this money first towards paying off any high interest debt. After that, you can work on building up an emergency fund. So this could be, for a start, 1 month of living expenses, so everything that you would need for a month. Then after you've built that up, you might decide to build it up to 3 months or 6 months of living expenses, so you've got that emergency fund. In the case of an emergency, you've got that money on hand. Once you've built up an emergency fund, it's worth putting your money to work in other ways. So unless you've got a savings goal where you need cash on hand, in which case you should save your money into a savings account, I would recommend investing or considering investing some of your money so that you can make a higher return on your investment. If you're saving for a short or a medium term goal, for example, something that you're saving for in the next 3 to 5 years, then of course put this money into a savings account so you've got that security and you know it's there when you need it. If your savings goals are longer term and you're looking to save for more than 5 years, then it's definitely worth considering investing your money, because if you don't invest this money and you just leave it sitting in a savings account, you are missing out on a potential gains in the stock market that are much higher than you could get in a savings account. I won't go into investing in this video because I have many other videos on my channel that talk about it. I'll link some of these above. Also, there are some great investing platforms out there. I have videos on these. I'll also link some in the description box. So some of my favourites are Hargreaves Lansdown and Trading 212. I'll leave a link in the description for Trading 212. If you sign up, you can get a free share worth up to £100. So I'll leave that there as well. But either way, whatever you decide to do, it might be worth thinking about investing some of your money into the stock market to get some high potential gains. You can set up automations for these as well. So if you're saving, you can set up a regular savings amount to send over to your savings account every month. You can set up a regular investing amount to send over to your investing account every month. So whatever way you're doing it, it's a really great way to do it because it means that you'll make sure you're paying yourself first every month. It means that you'll have something that you've kept for yourself after your hard work every month. The next step is to spend what you have left. So this is the fun part. This is the part where you can spend all of the money that you allocated for your wants. So this is something that you need to do. Of course, it's important to be able to spend money on the things that you enjoy. So this is the next step. And you can have the peace of mind that you know you've already paid yourself, you've already got some money that you've kept for yourself after the end of every month. The final thing that you want to do is to review this regularly, so you can regularly check in if you get a budgeting app or you like to record your budget on a spreadsheet, or you want to just make a note on pen and paper. However you do it, it's a great way to check in regularly, check on how you're going with your budget and any savings or investments that you're making, because this can be really encouraging as well. Then you can adjust it as well. So if you find that you've got a little bit extra at the end of every month, then you could decide to save or invest that as well. Or if you get a salary increase, you could decide how you're going to allocate that money as well. That's it. Those are all of the things that I do when I get paid, my payday routine. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did make it this far, please do give the video a like. Thanks for watching and see you next time.